Alright, hello everybody. Dangerous weather predictions are Central Illinois weather here. Today we're going to be talking about, again, that dynamic storm system that's going to be happening next week. And then a little bit on the northeast, nor'easter. There isn't really too much to update on that. Plus, I'm not really too much of a winter weather person. So, I'm going to be mainly updating you guys on that, dynamic storm system next week. But we can definitely touch into that winter storm for the northeast, potential nor'easter type of thing. Here's today, some thunderstorms in Florida right now, and pockets of snow possible. Other than that, snow possible tomorrow in some areas across the United States, and then that winter storm sets up, possibly some storms in Florida, your area of mixed precipitation in the Appalachian Mountains all the way up to like PA, and then you have an area of heavy snow expected from the Carolinas into Nantucket region. Let's go with the fronts map. So as you can see here, tomorrow morning, a band of snow flurries, snow showers is possible in Illinois. Maybe heavier bursts, 1 to 2 inches is possible in isolated spots. Mainly a dusting is looking likely. That moves east along with a cold front. And then right around 0Z Saturday, we may start to see this low pressure system start to really get going, bringing some mixed precipitation to North Carolina and heavy snow for a lot of other areas based off the current forecast. Here's 12Z Saturday, and this is expected to deepen to around 988 millibars with some very heavy snow over here. Potential blizzard conditions for places like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, maybe Connecticut and Maine, and then Vermont as well. Or is that New Hampshire? That's New Hampshire. Whoops. Mixed up my states. Sunday, some isolated snows possible in Maine, but other than that, pretty quiet except for the Pacific Northwest as we have that new storm system coming in. Monday, an isolated thunderstorm possible in Texas. Tuesday, that system starts to set up. And then Wednesday, depending upon the timing, some severe weather is going to be possible on Wednesday across across like the Mississippi River Valley region. And then on what's it called? Then on Thursday, severe weather is going to be possible in regions like this. And then maybe if we get enough moisture into portions like the Carolinas, you can't rule out severe weather on Friday like in this region, but that's going to be something that we'll talk about later. But yeah, heavy rains expected with heavy snow being possible as a transition. Here's the forecast for the rain amounts over the next few days. Very heavy rain across the Pacific Northwest and into the Mississippi River Valley, and that's all snow. Excessive rain, there's none expected. Here's your winter weather guide, day 2. Here's day 3. So there is a 70% chance of 4+ inches of snow for areas like Virginia Beach, what is that? Like New York City, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Eastern Massachusetts, Boston, Caribou, Maine, kind of those areas. And then the next day again for melted sleet or rain around 1/4 of an inch is possible again anywhere from the Virginia into the Carolinas all the way up into Canada. Day 5, some snow across the Cascades is possible. Day 6, again that area. Day 7, there's the possibility for snow in Illinois, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and the UP as well, and then places like Colorado, maybe a little bit in Arizona, New Mexico, a little sliver in Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington. So multiple states could be impacted by snow. It just depends. It's a week out, so there's a lot to really dive in. Yeah. From Prediction Center wise, there's nothing expected over the next few days, except when we get to the day 4 through 8 period. This is the area that I did not draw that. This is like the area I want you guys to pay attention to. That right there. And then I'll just highlight here. I'm pretty sure this is the highlighting tool. Yep. So, however, if current trends do continue, severe weather is gonna probabilities will likely be needed in the future. Why is it doing this? I have no clue, but basically, what this SPC paragraph means is that they are monitoring the potential for severe weather in the medium to long range on day 8 and probably in what is day 9, what will become day 8 tomorrow. So they're monitoring the potential. First, we're going to look at the Euro model. So we'll just talk about this. Here's that system starting to get organized right there. This is when some snow starts to pop up across portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, North Carolina, and into the Delmarva region. Some snow is going to be possible. This would be Friday evening. As we get later into the night of Friday, the Euro shows the low deepening to 998 millibars, and then 992 as bomb cyclogenesis happens, and we get heavy snow across portions of New Jersey and into like Maine and areas like that. Blizzard conditions as well. Here's that second winter storm starting to gear up along the Pacific Cascades there. Looks like some thunderstorms are possible here. This is close enough to where I can take a sounding and see like if these are going to be severe or not. And these Pacific thunderstorms would not be severe, so they would just be normal generic thunderstorms. Talk about Louisiana there. Let's see what you have. Normal generic thunderstorms again, maybe just showers. But that little bit of energy goes northward, and this is when that other dynamic storm system starts to come together. You can see the low pressures here, and here we have those dual low pressures. And as we watch it going ahead, we also have that high pressure here. What that's going to do is that's going to put a surge of moisture all the way up into the Midwest until you hit that cold front, which is like in here at this point. So as we see here, we start to get a heavy burst of snow in like areas like Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, northern Texas, panhandle there, Oklahoma panhandle, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, if I didn't already say that, and Wyoming. Maybe even Utah as well. And we start to see thunderstorms pop up in places like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. As we move along here, the snow starts to get more intense. We start to see freezing rain break out across Texas there. At this point, we could be seeing severe thunderstorms in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi if this solution were to be believed. And as we move along here, this system starts to get really jacked up and we get really heavy snow and heavy ice accumulations as well. And this is when we're probably going to start to see severe weather become more abundant as we get that line of storms to form based off the Euro solution. And then we have very heavy snow with heavy freezing rain as well on the backside. At this point, again, still more thunderstorms. We have more thunderstorms moving along. Here's the low pressure system up here. We have more snow in Arkansas, backside snow in Arkansas, and we would probably have Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, Tennessee being under the gun with the severe weather at this point, if this solution were to be correct. As we move along here, a secondary surface low develops, and this may bring an isolated severe event to the Carolinas depending upon a couple things. We have a little clipper that comes down and brings a light swath of snow if the Euro were to be correct, and then that fizzles out. And it looks like at the end of the run there's a clipper. Let's look at that surge of dew points here. You can see the Gulf really starts to get pushed out with that other system, but then you start to see the moisture creep back in, and this is when we, like we said earlier, this is when we might see some thunderstorms in Texas. Yeah, that would definitely support some thunderstorms there in Texas. We see that moisture start to go all the way up into Oklahoma there, and then this is when this moisture really starts to come up here. Around 18Z, we probably will be having severe weather being ongoing in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi if the solution were to be correct again. That's 0Z, 6Z, there's 12Z, and then there's 18Z. So we have very strong moisture getting pumped from the Gulf of Mexico there. You see here those green values, those are the 70 dew points. Those blues are the 60s, and then those greens are the 50s. And you can see there's a lot of warm, moist air getting pushed all the way up into the northeast. So for this one, northeast snow, folks, you guys will be dealing with rain, maybe even thunderstorms if this solution were to be correct, and not snow. So, sorry to say that to y'all. See, the moisture gets ejected all the way up into the northeast there with 50s, there, upper 50s, and then we start to dry out. Let's look at the 500 millibar flow off the Euro now. So we have that first trough. This is going to be the northeast system. As you can see here, it starts to merge with a different system, and then bang, there it goes. Then that's when it starts to eject and get really strong. The fish would be dealing with some storms. We'll just take a random sounding out by the fish. Oh yeah, storms for the fish. You can see here another little cutoff low starts to come in here. This will oh, I did not mean to advance it that forward. This cutoff low here is going to be the thing that's going to pull up moisture into Texas and coastal Louisiana there and bring some thunderstorms for them on Monday and Tuesday if the Euro were to be correct, which I think most other models show this cutoff low. Then you can see there another trough builds behind the cutoff low. The cutoff low starts to disintegrate, and then this trough starts to eject into portions of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas there. It starts to get really amplified here. This is where the severe weather would be happening if this solution were to be correct. I mean, you have very strong flow with this long wave trough with embedded shortwave in it, and definitely see very strong flow across a lot of the US there. As we move along there, that flow goes out to the east coast, and I did not mean to take a sound. Here's your 850 millibar flow based off the Euro model. We'll just go advance it here. That's that nor'easter will likely bring some very strong wind gusts, pretty strong wind gusts across like the northeast as well as it moves by. As we advance here, we start to see a lot of shear start to come up in Dixie Alley there, and this is where we start to see that wind shear start to break out into Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana there. Those values in the purples and reds, those are 30 to 50 knots of 850 millibar. And then as you see here, as we get throughout the day, it starts to really increase. And this is when the jet becomes a lot more stronger, which is interesting as well. And it brings up that warm, moisture air from the Gulf, of course, into areas like the South United States again. So that's what the Euro model shows, and that shows that getting very strong as it gets further northward. Here's the GFS. We're only gonna we'll look at the GFS. We're not gonna go as in depth as in it as we did with the Euro. There's the nor'easter. It stays a little bit off the coast there. Then we have that little cutoff flow that develops some thunderstorms in Texas, Louisiana, and then that cutoff flow merges with that other system. And you start to see that severe weather. Not really Wednesday, but you don't really get severe weather then. Based off the GFS solution, it would be more of a Thursday type event. That low really, I did not mean to do that. That low really starts to get going, and that low-level jet really starts to kick off. 996 millibars with heavy ice accumulations, a line of severe storms in front. We'll stop it at we'll stop it in a little bit here, but as you can see here, once we get to hour 200, this starts to move out. And then I'm not gonna play through the rest of the GFS run because that's just all fantasy land at this point. I'll just show you the dew points. We'll just do a little loop of them. And that system really brings up some warm, moist air with this new GFS run as well. Now let's look at the 500 millibar vorticity. I gotta find it here. So here's your middle level spin in the atmosphere. So here's this system right here. I gotta change colors, but that's that system right there. That's gonna be the one that's gonna merge with another kind of piece of energy as well, and kind of disintegrates right there. And we get that piece of energy to merge with this one right here, and this is when they start kind of colliding, and this is when they really start to kick off. And then we see another piece of energy. That's your cutoff flow right here. Why is it turning into blue? I don't know, but that's your cutoff flow. Well, that's your cutoff low there. As you can move along here, that cutoff low just meanders across the United States there. And here is the shortwave trough that starts to come in there. You can see one piece of energy right here comes in. Right here, the forward corners, you can see one piece of energy right there, that piece. It comes in, and we get another piece to come out. So maybe we might get a little bit of some storms with that piece of energy too. And then that moves out, and then that's Fantasyland again. Here's the Canadian solution. We'll just quickly go by it. There's the nor'easter happening. It shows a skimming the coast, being more of an offshore system. I think the Euro is the most aggressive solution right now. There's the cutoff low, and then there's your winter storm there. It again has being a Thursday issue. Here's your 500 millibar on the GEFS. We'll just move along here. That's the nor'easter system. Now, as we get further out, the GEFS doesn't really have a clear-cut trough yet. That's just because all of its members are agreeing, disagreeing. But the signal is definitely there with the flow. I mean, you have a large, widespread area of flow, of course, given the fact that we're looking at the GFS. I did not get that one. But now let's look at the GEFS on College Due page, and here is where we can look at like the ensemble wind troughs. So let's look at some of them. We'll go. Okay. So I'll just mark the ones that do not show a significant trough. This one doesn't show anything. This one doesn't really have a significant trough. This one has a trough, but it's not very significant. So there's some of them that show a trough being less significant, and that's like a handful. Most of them do have a pretty strong trough, though. And again, let's look at our cape. Let's look at our percentage of cape here. So here is the percentage. It's like right now 10 to 30%. The day previous, it's not very high either. It's because the models are kind of disagreeing on what day is going to be the most robust for instability right now. So we're kind of just looking for that. But I will keep everyone updated with this, and that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see y'all in the next one.